What's up YouTube? It's me, Jess, and I'm an opera singer. Today's video is going to be a performance analysis of Cynthia Erivo performing Alfie for Dionne Warwick live at the 46th Kennedy Center Honors. Let's go.
What's it all about, Alfie? Is it just for the moment we live? What's it all about when you sort it out, Alfie? Are we meant to take more than we give, or are we meant to be kind? And if only fools are kind, Alfie, then I guess it is wise to be cruel. And if life belongs only to the strong, Alfie, what will you lend on an old golden rule? As sure as I believe there's a heaven above, Alfie, I know there's something much more, something even non-believers can believe in. I believe in love, Alfie. Without true love, we just exist, Alfie. Until you find the love you missed, you're nothing, Alfie. When you're alone, let your heart lead the way, and you'll find love any day.
Oh my God. Ooh. Ooh, I cannot get over that performance. I couldn't stop. I'm sorry, but we're definitely pausing. Okay. Raise your hand if you've never seen the movie Alfie. Okay. Raise your hand if you didn't even know there was a film titled Alfie. Okay. Guilty. Guilty, 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 guilty. So what I did was I did some research before watching this just on Alfie. I've never heard this song, and my goodness, did I learn quite a bit. So let's talk about that, because I think that's really important to know in terms of the context of the song. If you have no idea what this song comes from, then it can be hard to kind of put together the picture in terms of where it fits within a story. So Alfie is a romantic comedy film that premiered in 1966 in the UK. There's a sequel, I believe it came out in 1975. called Alfie Darling. And then there was another version that came out of the original Alfie in 2004. I don't think the one in 2004 did very well in terms of box office and ratings. However, the 1966 UK version did phenomenally. This romantic comedy, Alfie, the 1966 UK version, features Michael Caine. For those of you who do not know who Michael Caine is, he is the beauty guru in Miss Congeniality, and he is also the father in Austin Powers. Alfie, the main character in the film, who has multiple relationships with lots of women, doesn't take them very seriously, but on the other hand, it seems like these women are looking for more of an emotional connection, which he is not providing. And he gets himself in a lot of trouble. I have no idea how the story ends. The song Alfie was written by American composer Burt Bacharach as well as Hal David. According to Google search, the songwriters really wanted Miss Dionne Warwick to record the song. However, Paramount felt that it would be better suited if a UK singer recorded and performed the song, considering the film was premiered in 1966 in the UK. As a result, they then hired Cilla Black, an English singer, to record the song. The song did fairly well, and so much so to where many artists later down the road ended up recording covers. Some of those artists include Cher, Tony Martin, Billy Vaughn, and, of course, Miss Dionne Warwick. I've done a couple performance analysis videos of Miss Erivo, and I do have to say her voice really is one of my favorites. She's got this unique blend of musical theater and soul, and she's made this lane for herself to incorporate those two sounds together within one. Not only does she have this cool lane that she really cruises through, but she also has the amazing phenomenon of having a great understanding of vocal technique and artistic development and artistic portrayal. There's something amazing when a singer not only sounds great, but can move you as a listener, can take you out of whatever mindset you had before walking into the performance or before watching this performance and taking you to a completely different world. That in and of itself is so difficult to teach, but once you've got it down, that takes you from the general mass of good singers to the top 1%. That is where she lives, in my opinion. Let's talk about the very beginning of the song. And let's talk about presence and preparation. So at the very beginning, the cameraman actually does not focus closely on Miss Erivo. You get a very long shot where you can see the entire stage, you can see the curtains on the side, and you can even see a good portion of the audience. Then you see Cynthia walking towards the mic, and you get a quick moment where the camera zooms in to her left side just before she opens her mouth to sing the first line, which is, "What's it all about, Alfie?" As a performer, this is one way that I like to analyze lines. First, breaking down what is happening grammatically. Do you relate to the words? Or are the words of a completely different time? And then seeing how you can relate to that. When going to look at a line like this, a question, what's it all about, Alfie? I think it's really important to incorporate this idea that you're asking a question within your body language. Now, I know that asking a question is very different depending on what part of the world you're in. The notes of the question are already pre-picked out for you, so you have to just go along with whatever is written. That is out of your control in terms of it sounding singing wise like a question. So another way to show that you are indeed asking a question is by using your body. That whole moment, the preparation before going to say your first line, is so important to pay attention to.
What's it all about? Alfie.
She always looks so relaxed. It really is admirable. And the very first word, what, the onset of that word and how she was able to deliver it sounded like she was just literally talking to Alfie, asking a question. It didn't sound like she was trying to make a pretty sound. It didn't sound like she was thinking about technique. It literally just sounded as if she was in the moment asking a question. Now, you saw the true integrity of the grammar, let's say, it being a question, when she takes a breath before saying the word Alfie. You notice her body language changed quite a bit.
What's it all about? Alfie.
So, the very beginning, you see she's very still and she's using her eyes quite a bit, especially for this first line. She starts on one side of the room, moves her eyes all the way to the other side of the room, then closes her eyes and uses her body language during this pause before saying the word Alfie to suggest or let us know that she is indeed asking a question. All of that combined was so unbelievably genius because it's honestly remarkable how often this idea of how you're going to portray asking a question is left out, especially if you look at the Star-Spangled Banner. That song is filled with questions, and it's so hard to understand that performers are indeed asking questions. This is one way to do it. Continuing on with this idea of character portrayal, which is directly linked to artistic development. The difficult thing about this song is the amount of pauses or breaks within each statement or question. So like we discussed before, the first line, what's it all about, comma, Alfie. Comma is where the singer pauses and may or may not take an audible breath.
What's it all about? Alfie.
Then the next line, is it just, comma, breath, for the moment, comma, pause, we live. Now, considering all of that is really just saying, is it just for the moment we live, question mark.
What's it all about? Alfie. Is it just for the moment we live?
However, the composer really stretched that entire line out through a long amount of time within the music to where putting pauses is necessary in terms of expression or just in terms of it's just too long to sing within one line. What's important in these types of moments is what you're doing between the pause, because that is often where performers lose the character completely. It is so easy to forget how important those pauses are to you as a performer, but also to the connection of the entire line. Now, her facial expressions is also what kept this line connected. You can see her eyes are looking through the audience so confidently and so clearly to where the train of thought is consistently there throughout each pause.
What's it all about? Alfie, is it just for the moment we live?
If you notice amateur performers, you can see that train of thought lost, even if it's just for half of a second. It can, one, ruin that connection that we are building to you as the performer, but then it also can make it that much more difficult to get us back on track. It's almost like having to start over. There are common things that humans do that you can really connect to and put those to the character. I love seeing all of this connectivity within just these two lines because it shows the level of artistic development that she is at. And can we point out how beautiful the word when was? The way she sat on that N before opening up to the next word.
We live. What's it all about when you sort it out, Alfie?
Just those subtle little things give so much character, so much expression to the line. You have no idea. Now you have an idea. It actually works. Do it, do it, do it. Alfie. The last syllable is a very closed E vowel. I've stated this in so many videos, but the higher you go, the more difficult it is to get out a pure closed vowel. Now, when you factor in high note, chest voice, and closed vowel, you are talking about an extremely difficult technique to master. So let's look at all of the times she sings the word Alfie and listen to how pure that E vowel is, despite how high the note is, despite how much chest voice she's bringing into that note, and despite how closed that vowel is.
Alfie, 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 there's a heaven above, Alfie, Alfie, Alfie,
Now, I believe the last two times she sang the word Alfie, she did a sustained note on a C sharp 5. Now, I would rate that a medium to high in terms of level of difficulty, especially considering how much chest voice this is and the genre it's in. I don't know if you saw me gesture, but I did not like that the audience started clapping so loudly during that really long sustained note, C sharp 5. I just wish the applause or that type of moment was left to the very end, because what silence can do, or the effect of what that note does just before this grand pause that we are going to get, in my opinion, it's so much more powerful when the audience doesn't interrupt that note. If you just let the singer do what the singer is doing and let the music express what it still needs to express, you'll understand how much more powerful that silence is when the music drops out and then she goes to do her next thing. I don't know, I just had to say it, but that's truly genuinely how I felt. So then the final time she sang the word Alfie, she opened up so beautifully to sing the first syllable, Al, on an E5. That sounded so good. And then she resolved it to C sharp 5, that same C sharp 5 that she held when the audience interrupted, and then resolved down to the tonic. But I think before she resolved down, she opened up into Alfie, yeah, opened up to like an open ah vowel or something. Most importantly, it did not sound strained. And that's one of the hard things to avoid when you're incorporating chest voice, high notes, and closed vowels. Strain is like the number one thing to come into play when you incorporate those three things. So to figure out how to not have so much amount of pressure and unnecessary tension in that circumstance is really difficult. You will always have tension in your body. You need to have tension in order to grab things, in order to move, in order to speak. What's important as a singer is unnecessary tension. And that can be hard to figure out, especially as a beginning singer. You're not aware of what is not supposed to happen or what is happening and why it's happening. And then first off, try that, taking out chest voice. Just take that out completely and do that in head voice, then slowly add mixed voice, and then move up to the difficulty of chest voice. That would be my advice. Okay, and I totally forgot, last thing, the way she's saying the word day. It was so beautiful because of the movement within her mouth. So she started off the word day where you can see her top row teeth. Day. That is a closed vowel as well. Not as closed as E, but it's closed. And just to see that within her face, it was just so satisfying. If you liked all that you saw, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and comment down below what piece by your favorite artist I should do a performance analysis on. Lastly, make sure to check out the description box for ways you can keep in touch with me, get access to exclusive perks, and check out the Soprano Notes blog. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you soon. Bye!